Welcome back, guys. Alex here with another video. I hope you're well. I know it's been a long time, isn't it? But I did do 2 game room tours in a row, which are pretty cool. Really enjoyed doing those, and I've got to say thank you to all those people that commented and gave it the thumbs up, because that means a lot. Obviously, I enjoy doing them, and I love rummaging around. You can see me rummaging around in old Matt's games. I love doing that. I was back at the car boot again for a minute. But obviously, you know, if people like it, I'm going to do more of them. So thank you for all those people that commented and gave it the thumbs up, because that means a lot to me. And, you know, there'll be plenty more. I'm sorry to have to put the adverts in there, but if it pays for my petrol, it's great, because, you know, I can go up and down the country. I'll go anywhere. You know what I mean? I'm planning actually to go to Europe. There's 2 collectors in Europe who are 2 of the biggest Nintendo collectors in the world. And I'd really love to go and do a game room tour of those guys. I've been friends with them for quite a long time. They've got 2 amazing collections, like cosmic collections, that I really want to go and do. But again, it's money. But if the adverts can pay for it, then it's coming, guys. There's also another guy up in Newcastle. He's been waiting for me to come up. He's dying for me to go up there. I'm dying to go up there and see it. But again, it's 8 hours. It's a long drive, and you know, I'm still recovering from the winter blues. Work has really kind of just, it's like someone's turned the tap off. It's been really difficult finding work this year. And I'm a bit old school, I guess. I need to keep up with the times. I need to go on the computers and do all the social media stuff I absolutely hate doing, you know. But I guess that's the way forward to find work. And that's another reason why I've been so busy and I haven't put a video out there, because I've just been kind of concentrating at 100% and trying to get some new work in. But, you know, when I find the time, guys, I'll, you know, get the videos up. And here we are with an update. I haven't done an update video for ages, so there's a lot to talk about. First of all, I want to talk about Revival. Guys, if you haven't got tickets, you need to get tickets now, because chances of you getting one on the door are pretty slim. I know this is going to be one of the best Revivals ever. It's got an awesome lineup of top names from the industry. John Romero, who wrote Doom. You've got Jim Bagley, he's always there. Love Jim Bagley, such a lovely guy. And who else is there? Archie McLean, who wrote one of my favourite games on the Sinclair Spectrum, Archie McLean's Drop Zone. I think he did IK Karate on the Sinclair Spectrum on the Commodore. He's a really lovely guy. He's big into his arcade machines as well. He's got an amazing arcade collection. I always liked chatting to Archer. He's such a nice bloke. But the main guy, the guy I'm really excited about, who you don't often see at these sort of events, he's quite a quiet guy, doesn't do many interviews, he's done a couple for Retro Gamer, is Julian Gollop. Now, for those of you who don't know Julian Gollop, he wrote some of my favourite games of all time, and this one here, Chaos, is an absolutely fantastic game, which I still go back to and play on the Sinclair Spectrum. It's published by Games Workshop. Now, this is back in the day. You must have heard of Games Workshop, right? It's a Games Workshop pretty much in every town up and down the country. But back in 1981 or 82, when this was released, there was one Games Workshop, and it was in Hammersmith in London. And me and my friends, Tom, Russell, Paul, Robert, we all used to get on the 267 bus from Twickenham all the way to Hammersmith to go and get our Citadel miniatures, all the money we'd saved up to go and buy all the new Citadel miniatures that they had on release. And this was the only place to get them from, Games Workshop. And they had boards set up so you could play Blood Bowl and Battle Cars and Traveller, Dungeons and Dragons, all those fantastic games that used your imagination back in the day. We loved. And they also sold a lot of board games in there as well, which is what Julian Gollop used to make. So Chaos is kind of based on a board game of Julian's. And when you load it up and you play it, you can see where the connection is. It's just like a board game pretty much. It's turn-based. So it's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons in a battle arena. And you can play up to 8 players. So you all get a wizard to pick, and they've all got different spells. But the game's based on lore, so there's a bit of luck involved, a bit of dice throwing, because you could get a really powerful spell like a golden dragon, but the chances of that dragon working, if it's a lore, if it's a good dragon, are pretty slim in the beginning of the game. But as more and more spells are created on the battlefield, if it swings more to the evil side, then more of the evil spells have got a better chance of working, or vice versa for the good side. So there's a, you know, there's a lot of kind of like, has he done a golden dragon, or is that an illusion? Because you could do an illusion of a dragon, but you always had a disillusion spell to destroy it. But it would use up one of your turns if you did that. So it was such a cool game. You never knew who was going to win. But a lot of skill involved as well, don't get me wrong. A lot of luck, but a lot of skill as well. Just a fantastic game. Spent hours and hours playing this. Really, really cool. And then Julian went on to do Rebel Star Raiders. Love the box art for that. Look at that. Which is basically the same thing, but futuristic in a much larger map. And then he went on to do, I think, yeah, this is an update version, Rebel Star. This was published by Firebird, made some good games. This was absolutely brilliant. And then from there on in, he went on to go and make XCOM for the PS1 and Terror from the Deep, XCOM game, and a DS game, Ghost Recon Shadow Wars, which I really, really like. And then I think he made a remake of Chaos for the PC, but I never got to play that. I don't think it had anything to do with the XCOM on the Xbox One or PS4. I think he got out of it by then. But yeah, unbelievable guy. Made one of my favourite games of all time. I'm really interested, looking forward to meeting him and listening to him. He's doing a talk at 4 o'clock, I think, on Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon. So I'm really looking forward to that. So guys, Revival is shaping up to be an awesome event. Not only you got all the big stars there, but you've got the whole community coming together. And what's great about Revival is, and this is what separates from any other event, is you've got collectors like me who come out in the woodwork with some of the rarest arcade games and console collections, or consoles and computers. There's a lot of computers there I've never even heard of, not just arcade machines, that you'll get to see, and you'll never get to see at any of these other events because people don't really trust those events with their stuff. I know I wouldn't take my Sheriff to Replay or anywhere like that because it would just get battered. There's a different sort of people that walk through the door at Revival, people that appreciate the games a lot more. There's a lot more trust, and I need that. If I'm going to take my machines, and I know a lot of other collectors have said the same, these are rare machines now. They're getting old, and they take a lot of hard work keeping them going, a lot of money. People have invested in restoring them. The last thing they want is kids hanging off the joystick and giving it a kick when they've been killed, you know? So you don't get that at Revival. It's just a good buzz, a good, respectable bunch of people that appreciate video games, and we've all got something in common. So that's why I like Revival over anything else, and it's a lot nearer for me. But yeah, it's a fantastic event and just a great excuse to meet up and chat with everyone from YouTube. I know Tootie, Dave, Retro Dave, Pete, Jay, Cybersnake, Daz, just loads of people. I can mention loads of names. Victor Marland taking his Q-Bert, Rog, Ice Cold Beer. You know, it was last year, I think, Ice Cold Beer went down really well. He's brewing it again. Chris CMP, good friend of mine, he's going to have his awesome lineup of Vectrex games, home brews, games you've never seen before. He's got a new game he's bringing, so I'm really excited to see that. If you haven't seen Chris's collection, go back and look at one of my game room tours I did of his collection. Awesome Vectrex and Nintendo Game & Watch collection. Yeah, he brings that along, not his Game & Watch collection, his Vectrex collection, with all the side art and stuff, and just awesome, guys. If you haven't played any of these games, or even some of the other games, like I've never played Asteroids on the Vectrex before until recently. That is almost arcade perfect. It's so good. Along with Scramble and Berserk, all those classic 80s games I absolutely love to play on the Vectrex. So yeah, really excited to see all of his collection. You've got all the pinballs. You've got the Sega Dreamcast lot. You've got the Retro Lords. I mean, you've got Dave Perry's going. Dave Perry, man. Dave Perry. He's such a cool, down-to-earth bloke. He's going to do something really special at the event. I'm not going to say any more on that because I'm not quite sure. I think it's all a bit of a surprise, but I'm really excited to see Dave Perry. Such a lovely guy from Mamemeister, of course. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. Only a week away now. Less than a week away. I've got to start getting my cabs together. They've all got to be wrapped up. So I'll be taking Sheriff, Sky Skipper, my red tent. I've got a rare Nintendo game we haven't even showed you yet. A cocktail I might take. Space launcher. So I've got a lot to organise. So make sure you come up and say hello, guys. And make sure you play the games. Because a lot of these games you can't play in MAME. You can't play Sheriff in MAME, guys. This is the first time Sheriff's been out since it was earning money back in 1979. So make sure you play it. Make sure you turn the gas knob up to 9. You know, it's such a good game. One of Miyamoto's first ever games he ever created. One of the first twin stick shooters ever created. And one of the first games with a damsel in distress. So Sheriff's got a lot of going for it. Have a look at the artwork. It's so cool. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Another thing I want to chat about is a video I did, my top 10 arcade video. My favourite games you could own. If you only could choose 10 cabinets, which ones would you choose? And I wasn't expecting for people to do a video response, which really surprised me. So that people took the time out to do a video response to it. I just didn't even think that that's what you do. I've never done one myself. So I was really chuffed with that, guys. It was so cool. I've got to thank Tony, Electric Adventures, who's such a top bloke. I love Tony's channel. Really intelligent guy, really knows his games, got an awesome collection of every game, console and computer, really into his MSX, which I don't know a lot of. See, a lot of people wonder why I watch these channels, because I'm a Nintendo. Guys, I love all games, and if I'm learning something from someone else, I'll watch it. And if it's a likeable, genuine character, and Tony is, then I'll watch it. So yeah, I'll put a link to his channel below, Tony Electric Adventures. Lovely, lovely guys. Into his arcade stuff as well. He's got some lovely cocktails. So he mentioned some really good arcade games. Very similar taste, Tony, we have. Really appreciated that, mate. Chris, Novabug. Hope you're going to Revival, Chris, because I haven't met you yet. He did a video response. Thank you, Chris. Awesome games. I can see you're probably a little bit younger than me, so your games are a little bit later, but still really good games, mate. Really enjoyed that. Mark, Lactobacillusprime, if I've pronounced that properly. Mark's got an awesome channel, and again, Mark, awesome top 10, very similar taste in games to me. Brilliant video, mate, really enjoyed that. And Mamemeister, I haven't watched many of Mamemeister videos, but really good channel. Loved his top 10 game choice. Really, really good. Again, very similar to mine. Berserk, you know, and 1942. Where can you go wrong? I mean, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, that was really, really chuffed with that, guys. So this is what it's about, isn't it? The community, you know, getting together and interacting with each other. Love it, love it. So moving on, something else. Just wanted to chat briefly about Nintendo's online announcement. What do I think? Because I've been asked it. Not a lot. I thought it was pretty dire. A bit late coming, because the console's been out, what, a year now, and we've been playing the online service for free, pretty much. So now we've got to pay for it. It's not the expense. I think the expense is fine. I can't remember how much it is, but it's not a lot for the year. 20 or 30 quid for the year, I think. It's not a lot. But, you know, what you're getting with it. What games are we getting with it? Okay, you get to play online games together, but what other games we're getting for free? They've just announced some Nintendo arcade games, which is, you know, how many times? Okay, no, we haven't seen many of them before. We've never seen Balloon Fight before, which is really good. 2 player Balloon Fight, 2 players, the only way to play it on the Versus Red Tent, which I own. But to play it on your Switch with someone else on the other side of the world is just fantastic. So yeah, I will be buying that just so I can play you guys. But nothing really stand out, really. Versus tennis is actually quite good fun, but I don't know, the cloud saving thing actually should be free anyway. I don't think you should have to pay for that. You know, if you lose your Switch, you put 350 hours into Zelda, and you're not paying for an online cloud service, it's lost. That's it, you're buggered. You know, not good, not good. So I'm hoping at E3 they are going to announce more stuff. Although they should do, they've got to. Otherwise they're going to be in for a lot of slack, I think. But we'll have to wait and see, guys. I mean, they've delivered so far. I mean, I think the console's done really well. It's really good. I haven't been playing that much recently, and that's only because I do like to play it on the big screen, you know? Because I've got my 3DS. I like a console. I haven't got a console on the big screen. I need my TV. So, yeah, that was interesting. Also, I just want to reply to Beeps. I don't know if you know Beeps. Brian is in the community, does do a lot of mods, repairs and stuff. Really nice guy. Lovely son as well, watches his channel. If you're watching, mate. He wanted to know my opinion on Billy Mitchell. Now, this debacle went on, what, a month ago now? I couldn't be arsed with it, guys, to be honest with you. Obviously, he's a big name, so a lot of people were doing videos on him, and I didn't want to jump on that bandwagon. I didn't want to do the clickbait stuff, because I know Billy Mitchell, obviously because through the Skyscraper project. I had contact with Billy before we met in Atlanta. I spoke to Billy twice on Skype with Whitney, and he, what can I say, he helped us with the project. A lovely, lovely guy, really enthusiastic, really passionate about the hobby. Just someone like you guys who you can chat about games with, just a nice guy. And then all this came about. It's very in-depth. The detail that they've gone into proving that he's a cheat is unbelievable, and it makes me think someone's either got a chip on his shoulder or something really bad against him, don't like him to go into that much work, have that much time to do that. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like him, and they're probably people that did go into that depth, and I know those people who they are. Because if it wasn't such a well-known face, they wouldn't even be bothering with it. And guys, there are many high scores on MAME that are bollocks, absolute bullshit, and have been proven to be, because a lot of the hardware has been proved to not even be able to take those huge scores. So if you're going to pick on Billy Mitchell, you should be picking on these guys as well. Now, don't get me wrong, if he is a cheat, then of course his score should be taken off, rightly so. I'm not saying that otherwise, but I think, you know, if it wasn't for his name, none of this would have happened, to be honest with you. Because there's just so many other scores on there that are so suspect. And that's another reason why I haven't submitted my Space Launcher score. A, because really, there's not many people playing it. You know, really, I'm competing amongst the community, my friends, not against the world, because no one else is playing it. And B, because I don't hold Twin Galaxies that much regard anymore because of all the shit that's going on. And all the scores that are on there are all bollocks. So I haven't submitted my Space Launcher score. Maybe if someone come along and absolutely smashed it, I would, but I can't be bothered, you know. Really, it's there. I've got it on video. That's enough for me. But yeah, poor old Billy. I mean, you know, I went out for a meal with Billy. Me, Walter Day, Billy Mitchell, Whitney, Van Burnham, who wrote Super K Book, and John Jacobson from John's Arcade. We all went out for dinner after the Skyscraper reveal, and it was surreal. It was a surreal moment sitting there in America, my first time in America, really hot in Atlanta. All the grasshoppers and that in the background, the lizards, you could hear it like you're on holiday. I really felt I was on holiday, and here I was sitting at this table with these people. It was so surreal. I had to keep pinching myself that I was sitting next to Walter Day and Billy Mitchell. It was just like, they were just top blokes. Really, really nice guy. Walter Day's a lovely, lovely guy. What he does for the community is just absolutely incredible. And Billy Mitchell, they do so much. They're constantly rewarding people for their efforts, not just people with high scores, people like me that have done research on old games, but also people that do podcasts, all sorts of people that contribute to video game as a hobby. you know, you need people like that. I think it's great, you know, what they're doing. So I'm not going to sit here, Brian, and slag him because, you know, why should I, you know? And he's only cheated at the end of the day. Take his scores down, give him a slap on the wrist, and go and attempt to do it live again. That's what he needs to do. He needs to go and do it live. Because I know he's a good player. I've watched him play Donkey Kong. He's awesome, you know. It's not a bad player. It's just that the score that he submitted back then is a bit dodge, Billy. Very dodge. But there you go. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to do some clickbait video. I'm not into all that rubbish. So anyway, this is my update video, guys. I have got a couple of things I want to show you. First out is Punch-Out. This game I bought last summer. Finally got it here. It was a long journey, guys. I won't go into too much detail, but I was extremely disappointed with the cab. I paid a lot of money for it, especially to get it over here, and when it arrived, it wasn't out as described. Pictures that I was shown did not really show it in good light at all. And, you know, when it arrived, it had big shot marks in the bezel. The game didn't work properly. It was just a total mess. Anyway, let's go and have a look at it, and I'll show you what I mean. Punch-Out. So here it is, guys. This is my Punch-Out cabinet. You probably think it looks okay, but it wasn't. You got to expect a few little things of it, but the bezel, which I'll show you, I don't know if you can see, which is a nightmare to find, these bezels. Can you see it's got massive cracks in it all over the place. These are rare as rocking horse shit, they really are. And to get one of those is going to be really hard to find. So I was not happy with that. I was not shown that in the pictures. The monitors are really good. The gameplay is brilliant. It's Punch-Out. What do you expect? A brilliant game. The CPU, I can sort that out. It's not a problem. But it's got sound problems as well. You just don't expect that when you get these sort of machines imported from America. You pay that sort of money. But it does look fantastic with the line up here. Look at this. Got my Kong 2 marquee there, signed by all the top guys. But it's got no side art on Punch-Out. I need to put that on. Get a new bezel for it. And do a few other bits and bobs on it. It's good to go. But yeah, chuffed to get in the collection. It does look really good. There's Sky Skipper, that'll be coming on to Revival. Sheriff will be coming to Revival. I've also got over here, guys, a little jammer cab, which was given to me by Victor Marland, which is awesome. He's done the panel for me. Look at this. This is how such a top bloke he is. And what have I got in it, guys? Let's go and plug it in. I have got one of my top 10 favourite arcade games I'd never thought I'd ever own. Look at this. It's got Vulcan Venture, Konami, Electrocoin marquee on there at the moment, but it's got Rescue in it. This is so cool. There is a multi-board that Phil Murray is doing for this game, which doesn't recreate the same kind of colours that the original board has. So Victor did not want to give me this board. He's taking this Rescue board back, but I have managed to find a bootleg Rescue from my good friend Steve, Backflipper. So really chuffed to get that. I've been playing this a hell of a lot, and no, Victor, I haven't beaten your score yet. He got a huge score at a little meet I had here last weekend. Absolutely brilliant game. Look at this, guys. I'm going to have to do a video of this. So good. It's your little helicopter saving the guys, putting them on the island. Such a cool little cab. That's Electrocoin MIDI cabinet. And these are cheap, guys. You know, people think arcade collecting is expensive. This is a cheap cab to buy. You can pick these up for a couple of £100. Get a Jamaloom in there, and you're way to go. So I'm really chuffed with that. Here's my Sheriff trim line, which I will be swapping with Whitney for a Robotron. Yes, I know that will be going, but I don't need two Sheriffs in the collection. This is a rare game, and it's going to a good friend of mine, so I don't feel like I'm going to be losing it, to be honest with you. I've got my SFGE trading card wall ceremony on the wall now, all framed. Got Whitney in there, look, there he is, good old Whitney. That's what I did last year, really cool to have that. So yeah, really chuffed with that, guys. So there you go, you're probably thinking, what's he on about? It looks fine. It's not. That bezel is rare. You can't get that bezel because it's got a kink in it. You can't find a punch-out bezel for love or money. They're so hard to find. So, you know, if I'd known that, I wouldn't have brought it. I would have held off and said, look, find me another one. You know, and you expect the game working properly when it arrives, not to be half working. So I was pretty disappointed with that, but I'm not going to go on and on about it. I will do a future video on it. I've got so much stuff I want to get onto this channel. I really have. That rescue game is such an awesome game. I want to do a gameplay of that. It's so good. If you haven't played it, go and check it out in MAME, guys. It's really good. It's like a Defender, pretty much. An easier version of Defender. Some people complain that the bullets are really small, pixel small, but you get used to it. Like all these old games, there's always something that's not quite right, but it's a brilliant game. Absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to do videos on those at some point. Now, before I go, I don't want to make this video too long. I did pick up this, which I wanted to show in a SNES video, which I will do. I'm going to do probably its own video on this book because it is absolutely awesome. It is the complete SNES collector's book, ultimate guide. It's got pretty much every single SNES game in here. American, Japanese, loads of Japanese games, loads of homebrew games, loads of power exclusives. It is a fabulous book. It's by Jeffrey Wittenhagen. If I pronounce that right. Jeffrey Wittenhagen. Really nice guy. Really good to deal with. Loads of contact all the time. You know, updating me when the book was going to be here. And this is my go-to book at the moment. I'm constantly reading this. It's so cool. I'm going to bring this along to Revival. So if anyone wants to have a quick look before they buy, just come and chat with me. I won't have it out, but I can go and get it and we can have a look through it together. It is so good. And I will be doing a video of this very soon. So that's it, guys. I look forward to seeing you at Revival. Make sure you get your tickets. Make sure you come up and say hello. Make sure you play the games. I hope you have a fantastic time and I will see you. I'll tell you what I might do. Look out for a live video on Friday night or Saturday night. I'll do a whole walk around the Revival. So look out for that next week, okay? Until then, thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.